17 asks us to manipulate the variables by substituting one formula into the other. So for A, what we're going to do is we're starting with K equals P over 2M and M equals H over W, and we're going to express K in terms of P, H, and W, which means we're going to substitute for M. So we need to first of all identify that M is not in what the terms that we need to express by, so we need to substitute for that M. So I'm going to start with the expression K equals P over 2, and instead of using M, I'm going to replace the M with an H over W. Okay, so that is the replacement for the M value, and then I simplify this expression. So I'm going to end up with K is equal to, that becomes P on top, 2H is on bottom, and since that's a divide in the denominator, that's a divide, which really means that should go in the numerator. So we could also show this by multiplying by the reciprocal. If I'm going to divide by a fraction, I can multiply by the reciprocal and we get the same result. So that's A. For B, we have y equals 2 pi over d, x equals dr. We want to express y in terms of pi, r, and x. That means we need to get rid of the d. Okay, so I'm going to start again with the expression y equals 2 pi over d, and the x equals dr, I'm going to rearrange that expression to equal d. So I get d is equal to, I'm going to divide both sides by r, and I get x over r, and then I'm going to substitute 2 pi over d, and d is going to be replaced by this expression here, x over r. Okay, so that is divide by x, and then I have a divide by r, so that r is going to end up in the numerator. So when I simplify this, I end up with 2 pi over x times r. Okay, and again we can show this if we want to multiply by the reciprocal. So I multiply by the reciprocal r over x, and I get the same expression. Lastly, for C, I have the formulas V equals WR and A equals W squared R, and we're going to determine a formula for A in terms of V and W. So we need to eliminate the R variable. So I'm going to start with A equals W squared R. Okay, so there's my expression. I'm going to rewrite the other expression. V divided by W is equal to R. And then we're going to do our replacement. We're going to replace that for that. So I end up with A equals W squared, and instead of R, I'm going to use the expression V over W. And since we have a W on top, a W on bottom, this will simplify to V times W.